What's up, branding experts? Arek here at Design, and in this video we're gonna talk about how to sell brand strategy to your design clients so that you can get paid for thinking and running brand strategy workshops apart from doing any design work. Now, if you are new to this channel and you want actionable tips on branding, strategy and design, well then smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. My name is Arek Dvornechuck, and at Design my mission is to help people design iconic brands. I thought that learning how to run brand strategy workshops was going to be hard, but I was wrong. Learning how to sell brand strategy to my clients ended up being even harder. One thing is developing brand strategy, but a completely different thing is selling that brand strategy to your prospective clients. That's why I have put together a 6-step process on how to sell brand strategy to your design clients. So this straightforward guide has proven effective in selling strategy to my clients without actually being pushy or salesy, and if you do this correctly, it will make them feel grateful that they met you. So when I learned how to run brand strategy workshops, among the first questions I asked myself was, how am I going to sell brand strategy to my clients? I was already getting a lot of clients with their budgets for logo and identity designs that are limited. So sometimes clients would outright tell me that they can go and get this done cheaper on sites like Fiverr, 99 Designs or Upwork. So if you want to sell brand strategy for $5,000 or $10,000, how do you explain the value to your clients? So you have to learn how to sell those workshops in order to get them to pay 5 or 10 times more. So here are the most common questions designers ask me about: how to know if clients want brand strategy, and how to know if they have a budget for it, and how to introduce brand strategy to the conversation, and how to show the value of strategic thinking, and how to position yourself as a brand specialist. So in this video I will try to answer all of these questions, and I've tried many different approaches and techniques, and throughout trial and error I finally came up with a process that works. So in this video I will talk about my proven step-by-step process of selling brand strategy. So step number 1, you need to position yourself as an expert. So first you need to take a look at your positioning. So if you are perceived as someone that is just a graphic designer, then you need to change your positioning. So if you have clients come to you looking for design deliverables like a new logo or identity, then they look at you as an order taker. So the first step is to position yourself as a brand consultant, not just a brand designer. So start by changing the messaging on your website and social media to reflect that you are more than just a designer. So think about all your touch points, such as website, and make sure that they illustrate that you are a strategic thinker. So your clients need to see that you are driven by business results, not just design. But remember that this is a slow process and you don't become a brand strategist overnight. So start by slowly introducing strategic thinking into what you're already doing instead of calling yourself a brand consultant right away. So positioning yourself as a brand consultant is the first step to selling brand strategy. And step number 2, you need to ask business questions. So once you positioned yourself as a brand consultant, then the next time a new client calls you, you need to shift that conversation toward business objectives. And it's very common that when clients talk about branding, they usually focus on visuals, and they tend to tell you about what kind of logo they would like, what colors, typography, style, and so on. But the problem with that is the more you talk about the visuals, the less you can talk about strategy. So if you want to sell brand strategy, then you need to take control of that conversation and shift it toward business objectives and goals. So here are the 3 questions to ask on the first call. First, why this? Why do you have to do this? What's your business objective behind that? Second, why now? Why do you have to do it now? Can't you wait? What's at risk? And 3, why me? Why do you want to work with me? Why not go for a cheaper option? And yes, you actually say that. So these questions will make your client prove to you why they need to get this project done instead of you having to prove yourself to them. So by asking these questions, you will uncover if this project is actually valuable to your client, because if not, then good luck charging a lot of money for strategy. So the more you talk about the business objectives, the quicker they will understand that you are trying to help them succeed. So keep the conversation high level and avoid talking about any visuals at this point. And step number 3, make them dream big. So the previous step will put you on the right path to start talking about brand strategy, but once they answer a few business related questions, then you must make them dream big and what success would look like to them. And here you can start by talking about their business goals in terms of growth, revenue, market share, and so on. And this is very important because it will help them understand the importance of this project and how it will impact their life, the future life, and professional career. So a great way to get them to think about the future is by using the Dan Sullivan 3-year question that goes like this. If we were having this discussion 3 years from today and you were looking back over those 3 years, what has to have happened in your life both personally and professionally for you to feel happy with your progress? So asking this question will help you build rapport with your client and have them understand that you genuinely want to help them succeed. And in this step, it's also important to repeat some of their goals and aspirations back to them. And this will help them understand that you've listened to them and you are on the same page. And step number 4, help them realize that they need it. So the next step is to ask more specific questions to have them come to understanding of what they need. Because if you tell someone what they need, you're likely to get a bit of pushback. However, if you can make your client come to the realization on their own that they actually need strategy services, then you don't have to convince anyone. So this step will help you sell brand strategy without actually having to sell anything. So by asking more specific questions, you have them come to a conclusion on their own that they need brand strategy. So they will just sell it to themselves. So one of the most effective questions to ask to help them have that epiphany is, do you know exactly who your target market is and the position you want to take in the market? So most likely they will not have a very clear answer to that question, and this will open them up to doing brand strategy. And also a great way to have them realize that they need strategy is by using metaphors and analogies. For example, the iceberg metaphor that goes like this. A brand is like an iceberg. Everything that is below the surface and what you can't see is your internal brand, your purpose, your vision, your values, and then the logo is just the tip of the iceberg. Or you can use other analogies. For example, branding is like building a house. You have to have that solid foundation first before you even think about hanging pictures on the wall. So you wouldn't build a house on the sand. So you need that solid foundation, and that's what brand strategy is. So in this step, your job is to educate them on the importance of brand building so that you can sell brand strategy without being pushy. And step number 5, you need to show them your process. The next step is to educate them about the process of working with you and what the strategy actually entails and how much it costs. So you can summarize the conversation at this point by saying something like, a lot of clients come to me and ask me to design a logo, and I'm successful at designing logos because I have a proven framework that I use. So if you are open to doing strategy, then I would like to describe it to you to see if this is something that you want to do as well. Next, explain what to expect during the brand strategy workshop. For example, this is a discovery session to learn more about you, your company, and most importantly, your customers. And continue describing each and every branding exercise you're going to run in a nutshell to just give them an overview. And then you can sum it all up. For example, when we figure out all those brand strategy components, then we typically help our clients grow and succeed much faster. And here you also have to clearly state that strategy is what's driving all the aesthetic decisions that we're gonna make. And finally, talk about the price. So for developing strategy, we charge typically $5,000, which is exclusive of any deliverables. And I have to say it upfront because it might not be a good fit for you. So make it clear to the client that through that workshop, you are going to be able to define the scope of work accurately and then send the budget for all the deliverables that they ask. But if they ask you how much those deliverables would cost, then you can just give them a price range. So you can say something like, based on the lead information that we have right now, brand identity work can cost between $5,000 to $10,000, which includes elements such as logo artwork, tag guides, etc. If you hear clear, yes, let's do that, then you simply say, I will follow up with a proposal and then I will give you a call to go over that. Okay, so the step number 6, you need to prepare a proposal. So after that initial call and based on your conversation, the last step is to put together a proposal. But remember, do not waste time on preparing a proposal for clients who were not clearly interested. You cannot just sell brand strategy to a client who doesn't want to buy it. But if you get a verbal agreement, then proceed with a proposal. So a proposal should include the following components: the problem, the challenge, your solution, your process, timeline, and budget. So start with their problem and then add some weight to the gravity of that problem, but without over dramatizing it. For example, if the problem is that the sales dropped over the last 3 years and they need a rebrand, then state that problem and define the challenge. For example, brand X has been declining in sales over the last 3 years. The category has been evolving and competitors are gaining market share. Brand X is struggling to connect with new segments in the category. Disclaimer, you don't invent this. This is something that you base on the conversation that you have with your client. So next, you talk about your solution. For example, based on the repositioning of brand X, we'll create a distinctive brand experience that will change the perceived quality for consumers, and combined with extensive advertising, we can grow market share and change perception of market X. And here you need to describe your approach to solving that problem, and it could contain elements like researching the category, gaining consumer insights, developing clear brand strategy, designing a distinctive brand identity, and so on. And finally, you set the budget, but it should not be a surprise to your client at this point since you already dropped the anchor in the first conversation. Now, your goal is to end the conversation with them coming to a realization that they actually need more than they thought they needed. So if you follow my process, your clients will understand that they need more, that they need brand strategy, and they need to work with someone like you. So if you did this correctly, you will not have to sell brand strategy to them, they will just be told on their own. So your client will see you as an expert and you will just destroy your competition, meaning other designers. So they will remember you as someone who can actually understand them and is able to help them build a successful brand. So basically it's all about uncovering their goals and objectives and then showing them the results that you're going to give it to them. So you need to know what questions to ask and listen carefully to understand what their goals are, and ultimately make them feel that you can take them from A to B. And of course, in some cases you can't convince clients that don't value strategy, and selling strategy takes time and a certain mindset. If you want to learn how to run brand strategy workshops with your clients, and check out my new brand strategy guide at ebaydesign.com/strategy-guide. But anyways, I would love to hear from you about your experiences with selling brand strategy workshops. Do you have an experience, or are you looking towards selling your first strategy session? Does it sound like a great opportunity for you to finally start charging for creative thinking? Do you want to add brand strategy to your offering and level up as a creative professional? Either way, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well to let you know when we've got new videos coming out. And if you want to learn how to run brand strategy workshops, then head over to ebaydesign.com/strategy-guide and check out my new guide. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer all of those. Until next time, this was Arek Dvornechuck from eBay Design.